There's a quiet misunderstanding that sabotages a lot of intimate experiences. And most men don't even realize they're repeating it. They assume that movement alone creates pleasure. Faster, harder, deeper must mean better. Maybe that idea came from movies, maybe from things they've seen online. But here's the truth. The way you move, the rhythm you choose, the pressure you apply, it determines whether she's fully immersed in the moment or quietly wishing it would end. Get this wrong and she disconnects. Get it right and she remembers you long after it's over. Today, we're going to break down why approach matters more than intensity, and how small adjustments can completely transform the experience for both of you. Let's begin with the biggest mistake. Starting too fast, too deep, too intense. What you often see portrayed isn't how the female body actually responds. A woman's arousal process is gradual. It's physiological. Blood flow increases slowly. Muscles soften over time. Natural lubrication builds progressively. Her body doesn't flip a switch the moment intimacy begins. It unfolds. If intensity spikes before her body has fully warmed, it can feel uncomfortable, even painful. And here's the part most men don't consider. She may not tell you, not because she doesn't care, but because she doesn't want to disrupt the moment or hurt your feelings. That's why beginning slowly isn't about hesitation. It's about alignment. It gives her body the space it needs to open, relax, and respond fully. And when intensity builds gradually, it doesn't shock her system, it amplifies pleasure. Slow isn't dull. Slow is strategic. Now let's talk about contrast. One of the most powerful psychological tools in intimacy is variation. Not constant intensity, but controlled shifts. When her body starts responding strongly, when you feel rhythm building, that's often when most men stay locked into one speed. But here's what happens neurologically. The nervous system adapts. Sensation becomes predictable. Predictability reduces impact. Instead, try this. Let intensity build. Let her feel it fully. Then pull back. Slow everything down. Change the depth. Change the rhythm. Not abruptly, deliberately. That contrast creates anticipation, creates craving. The brief reduction in stimulation actually heightens her sensitivity when you reintroduce intensity again. But timing matters. Don't interrupt right at the peak of climax. Early and mid-stage variation works beautifully. Right at the edge, it can cause frustration. The key is awareness, which brings us to tempo. Consistency feels safe, but too much consistency feels repetitive. The body responds best to subtle shifts. Different positions invite different speeds. Early moments invite closeness and slower connection. Later stages may allow for stronger rhythm. There's no rigid formula here. The goal isn't mechanical perfection. It's responsiveness. Let the moment guide you. When you vary tempo naturally, her body stays engaged instead of adapting. Now let's address something almost no one talks about enough. Pressure, not just movement. Many men focus entirely on back-and-forth motion. And yes, internal stimulation matters. But external stimulation is often just as important, sometimes more. Grinding, staying close, applying controlled pressure, can stimulate sensitive external structures that don't respond as strongly to simple thrusting alone. When you hold her close and move with pressure instead of speed, you create a different kind of sensation. It's less about friction, more about connection and steady contact. And here's a bonus most men overlook. Grinding allows you to regulate your own arousal while maintaining her stimulation. It slows your intensity without lowering hers. That balance matters. Now we arrive at the most important principle of all: presence. Technique means nothing if you're mentally somewhere else. Watch her breathing. Notice how her body responds. Does she lean into you or pull back slightly? Do her muscles tense or soften? Those cues tell you everything. Too many men get trapped inside their own thoughts. Performance worries, self-doubt, overanalyzing. And in doing so, they miss the real-time feedback happening in front of them. When you're fully present, you adjust instinctively. That attentiveness alone sets you apart. And here's something even deeper. For most women, intimacy is not purely physical. Emotional connection amplifies physical pleasure dramatically. Feeling safe, feeling seen, feeling valued. Those experiences allow her body to relax more deeply, and relaxation enhances sensation. Connection doesn't require grand gestures. It's in eye contact, in subtle communication, in a calm, grounded tone. A quiet check-in like, "Does that feel good?" spoken with confidence, not insecurity, reinforces trust. Confidence, by the way, isn't aggression. It's steadiness. Moving deliberately, slowing down without apology, adjusting without hesitation. When she feels that steadiness, her nervous system settles. And when her nervous system settles, pleasure increases naturally. Patience plays a role here too, not dragging things out, but removing the obsession with reaching the finish line. When you stop chasing climax and start enjoying the process, everything intensifies on its own. And remember this, every woman is different. Even the same woman can feel different on different days. What worked perfectly before might need adjustment now. That's not failure. That's reality. Your job isn't to memorize techniques. It's to stay curious. Curiosity keeps you adaptable. Adaptability builds trust. And trust deepens desire. Over time, when she sees that you're attentive, responsive, and genuinely invested in her experience, something powerful happens. She relaxes more. She opens more. And intimacy stops being something you perform and becomes something you build together. So if you take one message from this, let it be this. Slow down. Vary your rhythm. Stay present. Prioritize connection. Technique matters, but awareness matters more. The men who stand out aren't the loudest or the fastest. They're the ones who listen with their eyes, with their hands, and with their attention. And that's what makes the difference long after the moment ends.